Will Connie live forever? Hello everyone, this is a Steven Universe discussion slash theory video on whether or not Stevonnie will be the next Garnet or something like that. And most importantly, will Connie live forever? Now I don't know if you guys saw my video that I did last week, or at least one of them, the ending of Steven Universe, on, you know, my take on how I would want Steven Universe to end. And I just basically went over, like, alright, this is how the story will end for pretty much each character. A character will go here, a character will do that, all that other stuff. And for Connie, I couldn't really decide on where she would end up specifically. I kind of let the viewer, you, to decide whether she would be like at college or something, or she would still be Steven and, you know, saving the Earth and maybe even saving the universe from like other tyrant gems or just some force of evil out there in the universe. I kind of left that up to you. I couldn't exactly decide on which one because there's so many possibilities on what Connie could do. And another thing that I did bring up, it was in the beginning of it, and that is, you know, instead of those two, or at least with, like, you know, staying with Steven, the most logical thing would be is that, okay, if they're gonna, like, be together till, like, the end of the story and, you know, travel the universe and all that stuff, it would make sense that they would form Stevonnie more. Because, you know, of course, Stevonnie is pretty much, like, the closest thing that we have to, like, a complete rose quartz. I mean, yeah, Steven is it, but you can't use a sword, and let's be real here. Compared to Connie, of course, he's, you know, not the smartest. Connie has, you know, the brain over bronze, and she has a sword, and she's, you know, slowly becoming a master at it. So, you know, Stevonnie, make them up, and you pretty much get Rose Jr., basically. It's the closest thing we have to Rose Quartz in this generation. So, yeah, and, you know, of course, if you don't know, Steven can technically live forever if he just fluctuates his age here and there. Now, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have mastery over that specific power yet, and now think about it, I don't even know if Rose did, actually. I don't think she did. That would be really weird, since gems don't technically age, so yeah, throw that out the window. I'm sorry I even mentioned it. But yeah, you know, Steven can technically live forever, and of course, Connie can't. But this goes with the possibility of Stevonnie being formed. We don't exactly know if Stevonnie actually ages. I would think not, because, you know, that's, you know, more gem, but now that I think about it, Stevonnie is 75% human and then 25% gem. I don't know if, like, the aging factor would count for that 25%. So it's kind of left for debate whether or not, you know, if Stevonnie can actually age or not. Now, I can bring up one point, is that, you know, out of all the other fusions that we've seen, mostly just for story purposes, Stevonnie, you know, is formed for a pretty long time. For the very first time that Stevonnie was formed, they were in there for quite a long time, a whole episode's worth, which is surprising, actually. And, you know, within, I'm guessing, Steven Universe's time, it was pretty much like a good hour or two, maybe even more, depending on how you see it. But yeah, they were fused for a pretty long time. So I would imagine, you know, if it was just the first time being hours, imagine if they actually mastered it. Now, even without concentration of, like, actually staying focused of, like, we gotta stay a fusion, they didn't really worry about that. And I don't think they really actually need to worry about that when they form Stevonnie. I'm assuming, you know, by the time they actually, you know, master fusion and all that stuff, Stevonnie would be formed forever, basically. Now, as again, I don't know if the aging factor would take into account. I would think not. It would be really funny if that actually, the 25% actually does have the aging factor. But yeah, you know, if they master it, they could pretty much stay Stevonnie forever. And, you know, if the crystal gems, I suppose, retire in a sense, you know, they just don't really worry about evil. Now, granted, we're in season 4, and if you notice from season 4 to season 1, there's not many monsters as there used to be. Almost every other episode or so, there was a monster or two to fight within the episode. Now in season 4, or at least as the story goes on, there seems to be less and less of that. So, you know, eventually, I'm guessing the gems would just have, like, no real, you know, drive to actually go out there and save the Earth, because, well, it's slowly being saved. The clusters bubbled, and, you know, I'm guessing by the end of the story, of course, they're going to take care of what they need to take care of with Homeworld and all that stuff. So by the end of the real story, like the final episode and stuff, there would be no real threat towards Earth. So the crystal gems, you know, Garnet, Amethyst, Pearl, they would, you know, in a sense, retire. They would have, like, you know, no real purpose. It would just be like them after the war. It's like, what are they gonna do? I mean, yeah, they can still hunt gems, but it's like, there's no real need. If they're not causing, like, a big of a threat or, like, actual, like, damage to them, or, you know, if they actually can, find a way to cure all the gems by the end of the series, then there's no real point of, you know, getting on the warp pad and trying to do what they need to do. That's where Stevonnie mostly comes in. You know, Steven and Connie, they love doing missions together and all that stuff, and, you know, they form Stevonnie. And as simple as that, they can do whatever they want, as long as they want, if they can figure that out. So, yeah, that pretty much likes the question, and I apologize a little if this seems a little scatterbrained, of course, because, you know, I go from one thing to another, but going back to the main question, will Connie live forever? Well, in my opinion, probably. I don't actually have a definitive answer here. I know that is really stupid, as, you know, you're thinking right now. It's like, oh, come on, dude, you should have a, you know, a grounded answer by this point if you come up with a theory and such. But it's like, well, when it comes to Steven Universe and Connie specifically, a lot of things are a little unpredictable. And even with Stevonnie, it's a little more unpredictable, if that makes any sense. But I'm pretty sure you get it. But yeah, in my opinion, if Connie could live forever, you know, through the form of Stevonnie, and, you know, Stevonnie could be like the next Garnet, live forever, true love, and all that stuff, then yeah, I could see it happening. But if it doesn't, well, I don't know how, you know, things will turn out. Maybe Steven will not even bother with, like, the aging factor. Maybe he won't even bother with it, and he'll live his life, or at least aging normally like everyone else. And when he dies, I suppose he dies, but I'm not sure what would happen to the gem. I'm guessing Rose would come back probably. But yeah, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Have any questions, comments, or concerns, or any other discussion topics you want to talk about. Thinking that, you know, will Connie live forever? Yes or no? Will it be through the form of Stevonnie? Yes or no? And other factors that you guys could probably come up with that I didn't mention within this video. Want to draw any fan art for the channel? Be greatly appreciated. Email will be in the description below, or you can send it through my Twitter. Have a great day. Have a great night. And everything else you know what to do. Bye.